Let our learning today be Le'ilui Nishmat HaKadoshim Eyal, Naftali veGilad. Hashem Yikom Damam. I want to look at the Gemara in Nazir. The Gemara in Nazir, Daf Kaf Gimel, tells us Le'olam ya'asok Adam b'Torah u'mitzvot afilu shelo lishma. It's worthwhile, tells the Gemara, it's worthwhile for us to do Torah, to be involved in Torah and mitzvot, even if we're not doing it for the right intention. Why? Shemitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. Through doing things for the wrong intentions, we then come to do things for the right intentions. And the Gemara gives us an example. Who is the person from whom we learn mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma? And that person is Balak. Balak of this week's Parshat. Balak, the Gemara tells us, offered up 42 korbanot. He offered up 42 korbanot at various stages, but he offered them up as an attempt to appease God, to find favor in God's eyes, so that God will curse the Jewish people. And the Gemara tells us that because of these korbanot that Balak offered up to Hashem, Zacha v'yatsa mimenu Rut. Rut, the Moabite, of whom we read Megillat Rut, she came into the world because of those 42 korbanot that her great-great-grandfather Balak offered up. Balak was the king of Moab, and as we know, the Ruth came from Moab, Ruth HaMoaviyah. And Rashi says even more than that. Rashi says that David HaMelech is the descendant, as we know, of Ruth. So, because of these korbanot that Balak offered up, his descendant was David HaMelech. What does this mean? One odd piece of Gemara. How are we supposed to understand this concept of mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma? Well, let me share with you. There are, of course, many interpretations. Let me share with you the words of the Shem Shmuel. Rav Shmuel born Shina Sokachov. And the Shem Shmuel quotes the Pasuk in Mishlei. The Pasuk in Mishlei, Perek Yud Tet, Rabot machashavot belevish va'atzat Hashem hitakum. People have many ideas, Rabot machashavot belevish va'atzat Hashem, but God's way, atzat Hashem hitakum. That's what will prevail. God's plan will prevail. You know, I have to get to that meeting. There's nothing I will do there's nothing I won't do in order to make sure I go to that meeting. I'm going to leave 4 hours early. I'm going to hire a helicopter. I'm going to make sure I get there. But, Rabot machashavot belevish, we can have great plans. Atzat Hashem itakum. Hashem will decide if we make it to the meeting or if we don't make it. That's how the simple understanding of that text. That's how we understand this pasuk. Rabot machashavot belevish, but atzat Hashem hitakum. The Shem Shmuel takes this phrase one step further, and let me explain with a story. Imagine you decide to apply for a new job. You want to be a parcel deliverer. It's a big business nowadays with Amazon and online shopping. Delivering parcels is a big business, and you decide, I want to be a parcel deliverer. But in order to deliver parcels in London, you have to do a course in driving, and you have to get to know the streets of London very well. A 2-month course, and after that 2-month course, learning how to drive properly and learning the streets of London, you're able to deliver packages to wherever you want in London. This is a story. It doesn't really happen. You do the course for 2 months, and then at the end of 2 months there's a test, and you take the test and you pass. Mazal tov. As you are leaving the test center after passing this driving test and this extra course for parcel deliverers, as you leave the test center, you see there is a man outside handing out leaflets to people leaving the test center, and he's recruiting people to become ambulance drivers. He works for a particular hospital, and there's a desperate need for ambulance drivers. You look at this leaflet and look at the requirements, and you see that the course that you've just taken makes you absolutely eligible to become an ambulance driver. You're a good driver now, you know the streets of London, you would make a perfect ambulance driver, and you decide, forget about packages, I want to be an ambulance driver. Rabot machashavot bilevish v'atzat Hashem hitakum. Hashem wanted you to be an ambulance driver. You spent 3 months, you spent time studying, doing this course, and if someone would have asked you during that course, what are you doing? I'm doing a course because I want to learn how to deliver packages. But really, what happened was, you were doing the course in order to become an ambulance driver. That's how he understands a phrase, Rabot machashavot belevish atzat Hashem itakum. And that's how he explains the story of Balak too. Balak offered up korbanot in order to find favor in God's eyes. He wanted to do something that God would appreciate in order that he would then be able to command Bilam to curse the Jewish people. But Rabot machashavot belevish, he, Balak, thought that these korbanot would find favor in God's eyes in order that he would be able to curse the Jewish people. The korbanot did find favor in God's eyes, and through that experience he merited to bring his great-granddaughter into the world. That was Ruth HaMoaviyah, and from her David HaMelech, the descendants of Balak. Through that action, that even though he wasn't doing it for the right intentions, but Rabot machashavot belevish, you plan A, and Hashem takes those same skills, that same experience, and uses it elsewhere. If there's a phrase that I've been thinking about the last day or so since we found out about the tragic end to the story of our 3 brothers. Their bodies were found last night. Rabot machashavot belevish v'atzat Hashem hitakum. We went to the Kotel, thousands and thousands of people were davening, and across the Jewish world there were Tehillim, there were Ma'aseh Chesed taking place in such powerful, moving, inspirational experiences for all of us. And we hoped and prayed that b'zechut, these tefillot, we would hear good news. But Rabot machashavot belev ish va'atzat Hashem hitakum. Allow me to conclude with a blessing for all of us, that we should see v'techezena einenu, we should be blessed to reach soon the end of this story, and to see how our machshavot, how our tefillot, our tehillim, and all the maaseh chesed that we've been doing here, and for all the time that we've been doing, how they're part of a journey taking us to Biat Goel Tzedek, to the end of the story, to Binyan Beit HaMikdash, to the Geula Shlema. May it be soon, b'mehira b'yameinu. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.